CBS News 8 at 5. We begin now with breaking news.
And that breaking news is out of the Scripps Ranch area where one person has been shot and killed.
It happened just after 2 this afternoon in the 9900 block of Old Grove Road. CBS News 8's Abby Alford is live with the latest. Abby?
Marcella and Steve, homicide detectives are still here on the scene. They're investigating a shooting. It's behind that building right there where we saw a yellow tarp. We believe a woman died. It's unclear who the suspect is, but earlier we saw many of the patrol officers and the homicide detectives gathering around talking with each other. We also saw the police chief. She's here. We still don't know why she's here, but we do know that right now there's a Montessori school that's in the same parking lot where we found that yellow tarp right there. Again, we do not know who the body is. We believe it is a woman. What led up to this shooting? This is a business park area. Like I said, there's a Montessori school in the same. Up the street is Ballast Point. We are told that the homicide detective, the lieutenant, is about to speak with us to give us more information as we learn more about this active investigation, this breaking news in this shooting. We'll let you know right here.
And we have an update now on breaking news that we brought you at the top of our newscast. It's about a deadly shooting that happened in Scripps Ranch.
CBS News 8's Abby Alford is live with the latest. Abby?
Marcella and Steve, since we were live here at 5 o'clock, homicide detectives have given us more information on exactly what they are investigating. If you take a live look right here behind this building, you can see, actually you see the San Diego Police Department Mobile Command Unit. Behind that building is where they found a woman in her 20s. She was shot multiple times and she died. Now, police are actively looking for her husband. They say he is 30-year-old Jeremy Green. He's a white male, 5'8", 185 pounds. He was last seen driving away in a 2007 silver Corvette with a black top. Here's the license plate number. It's 5YGE642. Officers say that witnesses saw the two getting in some type of verbal fight. This was a domestic violence issue. That's when he pulled out a gun and shot and killed his wife. Officers say this man is armed and dangerous.
It's unusual. It's broad daylight, and a dangerous individual gunned down a female and killed her in the parking lot in a business community around next to schools. It's obviously very tragic. It's going to be tragic for all the family members. It's traumatic for the people that were witnesses, and traumatic for the people that have to come here and go to work.
Homicide detectives right now are interviewing some of the family members, also checking houses, tracking this guy down. If you have any information, please call police. I want to mention that we did see the police chief here on the scene, which is unusual for this type of shooting, but the detective says that she was in the area coming from an event, so she was in uniform. She just wanted to come by and check on the investigation. Again, officers are looking for 30-year-old Jeremy Green. He's in a silver Corvette with a black top. If you have any information or if you spot this man, call police. Marcella and Steve.
You're watching CBS News 8 at 6:30. We begin now with breaking news.
Breaking news, a manhunt is underway right now for a man accused of shooting and killing his wife in Scripps Ranch. Thanks for joining us. I'm Marcella Lee.
And I'm Steve Price. San Diego police say the suspect is armed and dangerous and has several weapons that are registered in his name. Let's go ahead and show you a picture of the man the police are looking for right now. He's been identified as 40-year-old Jeremy Green. Police believe that he is traveling in a silver Corvette convertible.
He is wanted for the fatal shooting of his wife this afternoon at a business park in the 9900 block of Old Grove Road in Scripps Ranch. CBS News 8's Abby Alford is there live with the very latest. Abby?
Marcella and Steve, the coroner just removed the woman's body. Police have identified her as a woman in her 20s. You can see homicide detectives are still here on the scene. They've just updated us to let us know that the accused shooter is the victim's husband, and he's now 40 years old. At first they said he was 30. 40-year-old Jeremy Green, and they say this man is armed and dangerous, and they need to find him. A Scripps Ranch business park with a Montessori school wrapped in yellow crime tape. Homicide detectives say around 2 Saturday afternoon, witnesses heard a verbal fight in a parking lot. Shots. Officers responded and found a woman in her 20s gunned down.
There was some type of altercation, at which point the female victim was shot multiple times.
Homicide detectives are searching for the woman's husband. They released this DMV photo of the accused shooter. 30-year-old Jeremy Green. He's a white male, 5'8", 185 pounds.
He is obviously armed and dangerous. We don't want anybody taking any action on their own, but please call the San Diego Police Department.
Officers say Green took off in a silver Corvette with a black top, searching homes, now interviewing family members.
It's unusual. It's broad daylight, and a dangerous individual gunned down a female and killed her in the parking lot in a business community around next to schools. It's obviously very tragic. It's going to be tragic for all the family members. It's traumatic for the people that were witnesses, and traumatic for the people that have to come here and go to work.
Homicide investigators say that 40-year-old Jeremy Green was last seen in a 2007 silver Corvette with a black top. Here is the license plate number that you need to keep an eye out. It is 5YGE642. If you have any information, please call police. Also, we looked up Jeremy Green on Facebook, and we saw that he said that he had worked for the U.S. Air Force. We are going to check in with homicide detectives right now, and as we learn more information in this breaking news story, we will update you right here on CBS News 8 and CBS8.com. Back to you.
It's just at the bottom of the little creek that goes through there.
Deanna Richardson was hiking with her husband inside Marion Bear Park Saturday when she found the shotgun at the base of a pillar underneath the 52 freeway. Not knowing what to do, she called the San Diego Police Department's non-emergency line, but couldn't get through, so she took the weapon home.
It was unusual. We thought we didn't know about the murder, and so we didn't think it was anything that was, emergency.
On Sunday, police were called again. This time, Richardson made contact and was told to meet detectives back at the park.
She then responded to this area and directed our homicide investigators and patrol officers to the location where she retrieved this evidence.
Officers taped the area off as they searched by foot and from the air. But they didn't find anyone or anything else suspicious.
We have not stopped working this investigation. It is their #1 priority at this point.
Officials believe the shotgun may be the same weapon used by 40-year-old Jeremy Green in the alleged murder of his wife, 37-year-old Tressa. It happened Saturday afternoon at this Scripps Ranch Business Park following an argument between the two. Public records show Tressa filed for divorce from Green in April and that they had filed for bankruptcy twice, once in 2008 and again in 2014. Outside the Rancho Bernardo home they once shared, neighbors expressed shock.
They always seem friendly. I didn't suspect anything.
CBS News 8 has learned Tressa and Green have 3 children. In April of 2014, their ages were 5, 11, and 16. This Facebook picture shows Green with his young son holding a gun. Another shows his daughter standing in front of a silver Corvette, the very car police are still looking for.
If anybody happens to see his Corvette, to please notify any local law enforcement agency or the San Diego Police Department.
Leader. This is CBS News 8 at 6:30.
So they called the police today, and it turns out that it was connected with the murder yesterday.
Hikers stumble upon a shotgun in a park near a local freeway, the possible murder weapon used by a man accused of killing his wife. Thanks for joining us. I'm Marcella Lee.
And I'm Steve Price. At this hour, police are still searching for 40-year-old Jeremy Green. He's considered armed and dangerous. He's suspected of shooting and killing his wife in Scripps Ranch yesterday afternoon. Now, today, police focused their investigation on Marion Bear Memorial Park in Claremont, where a woman found what may be the murder weapon.
The park is where CBS News 8's Shannon Handy joins us live from with details about that discovery. Shannon?
Well, Marcella and Steve, that gun was actually found yesterday but wasn't turned over to police until today. It was located near one of those pillars you see behind me underneath the Genesee and 52 ramp. So a lot of cars pass overhead, but the woman who found it believes that someone actually walked into this park and placed it there.
Yesterday, my husband and I were hiking, and we found a shotgun.
That shotgun, says Deanna Richardson, appeared as though it had been put inside Marion Bear Park on purpose, not thrown from a moving vehicle.
It looked like it was placed at the base of the pillars of the bridge, yeah.
After being unable to reach San Diego police via their non-emergency line, Richardson took the gun home Saturday. On Sunday, she made contact and returned to the park where she handed it over to police.
It was unusual. We thought we didn't know about the murder, and so we didn't think it was anything that was, emergency.
Detectives combed the area by foot and from the air. but were unable to find anything else suspicious. They believe the shotgun may be the same weapon 40-year-old Jeremy Green used to allegedly murder his estranged wife, 37-year-old Tressa. It happened Saturday afternoon at the Scripps Ranch Business Park following a verbal argument between the two. Outside the Rancho Bernardo home they once shared, neighbors expressed shock.
They always seem friendly. I didn't suspect anything.
Public records show Tressa filed for divorce from Green this past April, and that the couple had filed for bankruptcy twice, once in 2008 and again in 2014. On Facebook, Green lists himself as having been in the Air Force and working for Wyndham Worldwide Hotel. The two share 3 children together. This picture shows Green and his son while holding a gun. Another has his middle daughter posing in front of the Corvette police are still looking for.
We're still trying to apprehend this very dangerous individual.
And here's the license plate number of the Corvette they're looking for. California license plate number 5YGE642. Again, that Corvette is silver. It is a 2007 Corvette. And of course, if you have any information, contact San Diego Police. Marcella?
A former classmate who played in a heavy metal band with suspected killer Jeremy Green says he does not believe the fugitive will kill himself. The man spoke exclusively to CBS News 8 about his former best friend who he met in high school at the San Diego School of Creative and Performing Arts.
Here is him playing at the graduation of the class before us.
Brandon lives in Skyline and asked us not to use his last name because he grew up best friends and a bandmate with murder suspect Jeremy Green.
If he had one redeeming quality, he was a talented musician.
Green played drums and Brandon played bass in a heavy metal band in the early 90s.
He could like flip the sticks and catch them like Tommy Lee. He had amazing double bass.
The name of their band was Tempest, and they loved playing songs about death and blood by the heavy metal band Slayer.
Dead Skin Mask, Seasons in the Abyss, Mandatory Suicide.
Brandon also remembers a dark side to his former bandmate.
When he killed my cat, that was when I pretty much knew that he was going to snap sometime over something and death will follow.
Green now stands accused of murdering his wife of 10 years by shooting her 3 times over the weekend in Scripps Ranch. The couple raised 3 children, and Green is still on the run.
When I first heard that he got married, me and the guitar player had the exact same reaction, which was, boy, wait till this woman finds out what she married.
Now, Brandon says he's worried for his own safety because he was once roommates with Jeremy Green in Alpine and became especially close with Green's mother.
She needed me, I needed her. It worked out for a couple months.
And despite the alleged violent actions of Brandon's former classmate, he told us he does not believe Green will kill himself.
He was way too vain to actually harm himself. He's way too egotistical. He had very high self-esteem, unhealthy high self-esteem. There is such a thing.
Brandon last spoke to Jeremy Green in the late 1990s when Green was in the Air Force and stationed in England. He says Green called him to say he had gotten into trouble for threatening an officer and had his firearm taken away by military police.
We begin this morning with breaking news. The man accused of gunning down his wife in Scripps Ranch before ditching his car at the border is now in custody. Only CBS News 8 cameras were there for the arrest just hours ago at the San Ysidro Port of Entry.
Jeremy Green was found in Cancun, and now he'll face murder charges. CBS News 8's Gene King is live downtown with how this manhunt ended. It's dramatic, Gene.
Alicia and Dan, good morning. An international manhunt is now over. Accused killer Jeremy Green has been interrogated by San Diego police after some very hard detective work. He is now in the county jail this morning. Now, CBS News 8 was the only station that was there with cameras rolling during his arrest. Let's take a look. This just into our newsroom. You see San Diego police got their prime suspect, fugitive Jeremy Green. He is seen here in this exclusive video. Our photojournalist Karen Kelly was the only member of the media at the San Ysidro border where Green was handcuffed at 1 o'clock this morning. Very recent. Well, the homicide unit worked diligently and convinced the accused killer to give himself up. He flew to Tijuana after hiding in Cancun. Green was wanted for allegedly shooting and killing his wife, Tressa Green, last Saturday in Scripps Ranch at a business parking lot. Officers worked countless hours and tracked him down to Mexico. and have been talking to him since Monday.
Mr. Green flew into Tijuana, Mexico, where at that time state police, Mexican authorities, and our San Diego Police Department took Mr. Green into custody. He was then taken across the border. Right now he's being transported to our headquarters where he's being interviewed by homicide investigators.
Well, he's now in the county jail this morning after being interviewed by those homicide detectives. Lieutenant Rorson, who you heard from right there, says Green was very cooperative for this reason. He didn't want to be arrested by Mexican authorities, fearing for what would happen to him. So he gave up to San Diego Police, as you saw in that video, very peacefully. Now, back out here live, Green is now charged with his wife's murder, and coming up, we're going to explain how much the bail is and if he possibly has a lawyer. Dan and Alicia, back to you.
The San Diego police caught their prime suspect, fugitive Jeremy Green, seen in this exclusive video. No emotion on his face. Our photojournalist Karen Kelly was the only member of the media at the San Ysidro border when 40-year-old Green was handcuffed at 1 o'clock this morning.
He wanted to surrender. He was just wanted to do it on his terms and surrender to U.S. authorities.
The homicide unit worked diligently and convinced the accused killer to give himself up. Officers say he traveled on a plane by himself with no police escort and willingly flew back to Tijuana after hiding in Cancun for days.
I'm very proud of both the homicide unit and several other units, to include our criminal intelligence unit and our special investigations unit, that worked tirelessly from Saturday to develop leads that we were eventually able to track Mr. Green to Cancun. And for the past several days, we've been in conversation with him.
A high-profile case, Green disappeared after allegedly shooting and killing his wife, Tressa Green. The 37-year-old was gunned down last Saturday in Scripps Ranch at a business parking lot at the 9600 block of Business Park Avenue. Detectives with the homicide and special units tracked him down and say they've been talking to him since Monday, but wouldn't reveal details of how they did it.
And I will not discuss investigative techniques on how we were able to determine his whereabouts. All I will discuss is how we facilitated his surrender and the fact that he did surrender and he's currently in custody.
Investigators say Green was cooperative and didn't want to be arrested by Mexican authorities, so he gave up to San Diego police peacefully and will soon face the justice system for murder.
In the conclusion that we had Mr. Green in custody, nobody has been hurt, no further violence was done, and Mr. Green will now be held to answer to those charges.
Has Tressa's family said anything?
I won't discuss that.
Scripps Ranch murder suspect Jeremy Green turns himself in after crossing into the U.S. from Mexico, and a CBS News 8 camera is the only one to capture it. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Barbara Lee Edwards.
I'm Carlo Cicchetto. 6 days after Tressa Green was shot to death in a Scripps Ranch business park, her husband is locked up in the downtown jail.
The search for Jeremy Green turned into an international manhunt. Surveillance video was just obtained by CBS News 8 showing Green walking into Mexico just an hour after the shooting.
We have team coverage. Our Steve Price will have more of that video shortly, but we begin with Green's arrest, and CBS News 8's Kelly Hessedall live downtown with more of our exclusive video. Kelly?
Well, Carlo and Barbara Lee, Jeremy Green was booked into the San Diego County Jail just before 4 a.m. this morning. It was on a first-degree murder charge, and according to police, they have been talking with Green since Monday. This morning, he surrendered.
We had a very violent person on the loose, and now he's in custody.
Wearing a red shirt, handcuffed and escorted by authorities, 40-year-old Jeremy Green turns himself in around 1 a.m. Friday at the San Ysidro border crossing. In this exclusive video by CBS News 8 photojournalist Karen Kelly, the man who spent nearly a week as a fugitive stares straight ahead as officers pat him down.
Since Monday, we've been in contact with Mr. Green. We tracked him to Cancun, Mexico.
San Diego police say they had several conversations with Green, who was hiding out more than 2,700 miles away in Cancun.
He wanted to surrender. He was just wanted to do it on his terms and surrender to U.S. authorities.
Investigators wouldn't reveal how they tracked him there, but this morning they did reveal Green got on a plane alone and flew to Tijuana unescorted.
He met authorities here in Tijuana, and then we met Mexican authorities there, and then he was brought to us where we took custody of him.
The 5'8", 170-pound suspect is accused of shooting his wife, Tressa, in the Scripps Ranch parking lot Saturday.
We got multiple gunshot wounds on the victim. We need to expedite medics now.
Tressa had just recently filed for divorce, and the couple had just finished a marriage counseling session. A gun registered to Green was found last weekend near San Clemente Canyon. His Corvette located in a San Ysidro parking lot Tuesday, the day after police say they'd first been in touch with Green by phone.
Our conversation was solely with him and his wishes to surrender. That was done. But, you know, any time that somebody murders somebody in the city of San Diego, that's a very, very serious case, and we will do everything we can to bring that person to justice.
And we are told Green does have an attorney. He is scheduled to be arraigned on Monday. He is currently being held without bail. Now, coming up new at 6:30 tonight. Now, police wouldn't comment any further on their conversations with Green, but they did reveal what it's been like dealing with him throughout this entire process. We'll tell you about that all new at 6:30. We'll send it back to you.
New surveillance video gives a clear picture of what happened after Green parked his car at the border.
You can see him crossing into Mexico just an hour after the shooting. CBS News 8's Steve Price joins us now with an exclusive look. Steve?
Well, Barbara and Carlo, we just showed you this video of Jeremy Green being brought back across the border from Mexico in handcuffs. Well, now we want to show you this video we have of him originally crossing into Mexico to start this. New surveillance video shows accused killer Jeremy Green just minutes before he crossed into Mexico. These pictures, obtained exclusively by CBS News 8, were captured Saturday afternoon, about an hour after his wife Tressa was shot and killed in Scripps Ranch. Earlier this week, we showed you this video of Green driving his silver Corvette into a San Ysidro parking lot. He pays the attendant with a wad of cash, and you'll notice he's wearing a blue shirt with stripes. Green then parks his car, walks to the back of it, and changes his shirt into that black t-shirt and puts on that black baseball cap. Then he walks out of the parking lot. The new video we obtained picks up the story from there. It shows Green walking behind some businesses and across a series of parking spaces in the rear of the building. Eventually, you see him start to head down a ramp toward a duty-free shop that's right next to the pedestrian crossing into Mexico. Inside that shop, Green buys a bottle of water, and here's his receipt showing that he bought it at 3:09 p.m. on Saturday, June 6th. Cameras pick Green up again seconds after leaving the store. He takes several sips from the bottle as he keeps on walking down the street. When Green gets to this spot, he disappears from our surveillance video. But sources tell us that there is other video that shows him walking into this McDonald's over here. What he does inside isn't clear. Did he buy some food? Did he simply use the restroom? We don't know. But about a minute and a half later, he shows up again on surveillance video. It looks like Green is still holding his water as he makes the short walk to the border crossing. We spotted at least 7 government-controlled surveillance cameras monitoring the last path to the pedestrian crossing, so investigators surely knew from the beginning that he had walked across the border. To enter Mexico, you don't have to go through security, just a turnstile gate that allowed Green to make his getaway. And by the way, it is no surprise to authorities that Green went to a popular vacation destination. Remember, he worked for a timeshare company.
Accused wife killer Jeremy Green is in custody tonight after days on the run. And only CBS News 8 had a camera at the border as he was brought back to the U.S. from Mexico. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
And I'm Barbara Lee Edwards. Tressa Green was shot to death in Scripps Ranch as the couple left a marriage counseling session on Saturday. And now an international manhunt for Jeremy Green is over tonight. We have exclusive video of Green's escape and capture. CBS News 8's Kelly Hessedal is live downtown with what authorities say it's been like dealing with Green. Kelly?
Well, Barbara Lee, police say they had been talking with Jeremy Green for the past 5 days. Now, a big part of his agreement to surrender is he only wanted to surrender strictly to U.S. authorities. Green was booked here into the San Diego County Jail just before 4 this morning.
I'm proud to announce the arrest of Jeremy Green.
San Diego's most wanted fugitive back in San Diego tonight. Here's exclusive video of Jeremy Green's arrest at the San Ysidro border crossing. He surrendered about 1 a.m.
We were eventually able to track Mr. Green to Cancun, and for the past several days we've been in conversation with him, facilitating his surrender.
Investigators won't say how they tracked the accused wife killer to Cancun.
I'm not going to discuss investigative techniques on how we did that.
But we do know because of Green's occupation, selling timeshares, police had been closely looking into his business contacts in Mexico.
He wanted to surrender. He was just wanted to do it on his terms and surrender to U.S. authorities.
The 40-year-old faces murder charges, accused of killing his wife Tressa Saturday after a marriage counseling session. Police revealed today that Green flew from Cancun to Tijuana alone, and from there Mexican authorities handed him over to San Diego police. His demeanor today, very calm.
He's been very, very cooperative since his arrest, and there's been no issues with him. He cooperated through the whole process. We had a very violent person on the loose, and now he's in custody.
And Green is currently being held without bail. He could be arraigned as soon as Monday. Carlo?